Hello friends, today we will calculate moment of inertia for continuous mass system. So it is done by I equal to integral of r square dm. It is a definite integral where r is the perpendicular distance of differential mass from rotational axis and dm is mass per unit length. So first we find the moment of inertia of a rod having mass m and length L about this axis which is 1 1. So we will first take an element at a distance x from the axis element dx. Length of element is dx. So the mass dm of element will be dm equal to m by L dx. Now from above definition we find that I equal to integral r. For r we have different perpendicular distance of differential mass from rotational axis which is x. So x square dm which is equal to integral of x square m by L dx from dm equal to m by L dx. Now we have limits from 0 to L, starting from 0 ending to L. Okay, so m and L are constant, so they are, I have took these out of from the integral. Now 0 to L x square dx which came out to be m by L x cube by 3 to 0 to L. So the answer is m L cube by 3L. So L to L cancel, we get ml square by 3. So this is the moment of inertia of a rod having mass m, length L about axis about an endpoint. Now in the second case we find the moment of inertia of this rod about an axis passing through the center of rod and perpendicular to its length. So we have this rod having mass m, length L. We take an element of length dx at a distance x from the axis. Now similarly we do the process like in the above. We take dm equal to m by L dx and I equal to integral of x square dm. Now here the limits are changing from, let's assume this origin, so this is minus L by 2 to L by 2. Here limits are minus L by 2 to L by 2. Therefore x square m by L dx integral minus L by 2 to L by 2, we get m by L x cube by 3 integral minus L by 2 to L by 2. We put the value m by L, m by 3L, L cube by 8 minus L cube by 8. This will give us m by 3L into 2L cube by 8 which is 4. On simplifying we get ml square by 12 as our answer. So in third case we find the moment of inertia I of a ring having mass m, radius r about an axis which is passing through the center and perpendicular to the plane. So this is our axis. Now we take an element of length dl which subtends an angle d theta at the center and is at an angle theta from the horizontal. So here from theta equal to arc upon radius, we get the length dl, which is equal to dl equal to r d theta. Now dm equal to m upon 2 pi r into dl, which is equal to m upon 2 pi r into r d theta. Now for I equal to integral 0 to 2 pi. Here starting from here we are covering this up and here. So 0 to 2 pi. R square dm. Distance from axis, perpendicular distance is r, which is r square into m by 2 pi d theta integral 0 to 2 pi. So mr square by 2 pi will came out and we have d theta 0 to 2 pi. Now mr square by 2 pi into theta 0 to 2 pi, which will give us mr square by 2 pi into 2 pi. So our answer is mr square. Now we will find the moment of inertia of above ring about any diameter. So we apply perpendicular axis theorem, which we have learned in our previous videos. So we have taken the previous ring and we have drawn two axes 1 and 2 which are perpendicular to each other, and axis third is the z axis, let us assume. So from perpendicular axis theorem, I1 plus I2 will be equal to I3, and I3 is known as mr square. So I1 plus I2 equal to mr square. Since mass is equally distributed along these axes, therefore I1 is equal to I2, therefore 2I1 equal to mr square, therefore I1 equal to mr square by 2. Therefore moment of inertia of the ring about any diameter is mr square by 2. Now in the fourth part, we will find the moment of inertia of a disk having mass m, radius r about an axis which is passing through center and perpendicular to the plane. So we have this disk having mass m, radius r. So we assume that this disk is made up of many rings, many infinite rings. So we take an element disk, we take an ring having thickness dx at a distance x from the center. Okay, so we have dl. In this case we have area, so we take areal mass density. So here dA equal to 2 pi r into dx. Okay, so dm will be m by pi r square into dA, which is m by pi r square into 2 pi r 2 pi x dx. So here pi and pi cancel, we get 2mx dx by r square. So for calculating I, we have I equal to, here our elements starting from 0 to r, limits are 0 to r, x square, distance from the axis, perpendicular distance, x square into dm, which gives 0 to r x square into 2m x dx by r square. So we get 2m by r square, we take out of the integral, and 0 to r x cube dx, which is equal to 2m by r square. We integrate this, we get x to the power 4 by 4, 0 to r. We put the limit, we get 2m by r square into r की power 4 by 4. So we get the answer as mr square by 2. Now for finding the moment of inertia of this disk about any diameter, we will just apply the perpendicular axis theorem as we have done in our previous video. So it will give us I1 plus I2 equal to I3 equal to mr square by 2 I1, since I1 equal to I2 because of equal mass distribution, therefore I1 equal to mr square by 4. This is the answer. So this is I about any diameter of the disk. Now I summarize my lecture. So what we have learned is, if we have a rod of mass m, length L, we have to find the moment of inertia about any axis which is passing through the center and is perpendicular to its length. The moment of inertia will be ml square by 12, and if the axis passes through one of its end and is perpendicular to its length, then moment of inertia will be ml square by 3. And for a ring, if the axis passes through the center of the ring and perpendicular to its plane, then the moment of inertia will be mr square. And if we have to find the moment of inertia about any diameter, then moment of inertia will be mr square by 2. In case of disk, if we have to find the moment of inertia of the disk about any axis which is perpendicular to its plane and passing through its center, then moment of inertia will be mr square by 2. And if we have to find the moment of inertia of the disk about any diameter, then it will be mr square by 4, which is easily calculated by perpendicular axis theorem. Thank you.